Hello, and welcome to Animal Chiropractic Clinic Chatter, a podcast where Dr. O from All Creatures Every Spine interviews doctors and animal owners that utilize animal chiropractic to get their unique perspectives. Yes, it's really a thing. Dr. O utilizes his 30 years of experience as both an animal chiropractor and veterinarian, and to dig deep into the discussion of complex issues affecting the lives of your animal friends and companions. Join us for this educational episode. Thanks for joining us for this portion of the episode as Dr. O begins to answer the question, what is animal chiropractic? He will look at how the chiropractic adjustment is a valuable and viable treatment for what ails your animals.
Bill Ormston joining us here. I should say Dr. Bill Ormston. Yeah, that's what he is. Better known as Dr. O. It just flows better, doesn't it? The owner of All Creatures Every Spine, an animal chiropractic education source. And he's from Meridian, Texas. And he's here helping so many people and their pets because it's a dual thing, right? You're helping the animal, you're helping the owner. Welcome back to the show.
A lot of times, veterinarians and chiropractors don't know that, hey, maybe we should be looking into animal chiropractic. Is there a demand? Mm-hmm. And so if you don't ask your vet or chiropractor, hey, why don't you treat animals chiropractically? They may not know. They may not know that, yes, it's really a thing.
Yes, it is.
So, and it's huge. It's not just for musculoskeletal. I was reading a book the other day about 289 ways that you can benefit from a trip to the chiropractor.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, okay. And it was written by a non-chiropractor, and I don't think the guy has ever gone to the chiropractor. He just Googled and made this book. And because he's got about 10 other books out, 289 ways you can, benefit from your getting better, looking, ways you can, anyway, all kinds of, he's got like 10 or 11 books out, all titled the same. And one of the problems with chiropractic is that even chiropractors have trouble defining what it is we do, unless you really understand the principles, which are that the nervous system controls everything in the body. Mm-hmm. And if you understand that, then you understand why it's so important to have a healthy nervous system first and foremost.
Yep.
If the nervous system doesn't work, nothing else works. And the nervous system is encompassed in these bones that move, to allow us to dance when the music is right. It allows us to bend, but yet protects the cord. And when those bending things don't happen quite right, then they're going to put some pressure on the cord and nervous system. And we know that the weight of a feather decreases transmission by 50%.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
So, if your big toe's only hearing every other word the brain's telling it to do, you're going to be in big trouble.
Oh.
So, anyway, so how's your arm doing?
Good news is I did a nerve test this morning and the doctor says I'm okay. It's not carpal tunnel. So he did both hands, arms, and they did that little nerve thing, which I'm sure you're aware of. The bad news is, well, there's still a problem. I'm on my 10th session of physical therapy, which I think has helped it. But I'm still not right. And it's better than it was. It's not that 10 anymore, but it's like a 6. It is interfering with every aspect of my button pushing, my job, holding my coffee cup, holding the steering wheel, holding the cell phone to look at my email. Like it's cleaning, washing, doing laundry. It's just emotion, like holding the steering wheel on the way home from the doctor. I'm like, So what does someone do in my position? Get an adjustment.
Go find a chiropractor. So that's one of the things that, as a veterinarian, I have the knowledge and the capability to do anything to your animal. I can do diagnostic testing. I can order an MRI. I can do those nerve testing things.
Yeah.
I can do physical therapy. I can do x-rays. I can do blood work. I can diagnose, medical conditions, diseases, things with fancy names. All right. I can do all that. I can put your pet on drugs. I can do surgery. I can do all of that. But what we find in our practice is that when we adjust and get the nervous system, we don't need to do any of that stuff.
Make sure to visit our website, allcreatureseveryspine.com, where you can subscribe to the show and learn more about getting your animals adjusted. If you are in the Meridian, Texas area, drop in on a Tuesday afternoon to get your animals adjusted. If that isn't possible, schedule a consultation on your animal's health with Dr. O. You can also purchase a copy of Dr. O's book. Yes, it's really a thing.
Hello everyone, and welcome to barfworld.com. If you're seeing this video, it typically means you're interested in trying our 90-day challenge. If your pet is suffering from allergies, kidney issues, obesity, diabetes, or even cancer, our food can help with that. So if you're ready to see your pet's health dramatically improve in just 90 days, call us and schedule your consultation today. Hope to talk to you guys soon.
What is going on, everyone? My name is Stan Smith. I'm the CEO of X-Dog and the inventor of the X-Dog Weight and Fitness Vest. What is the X-Dog Weight and Fitness Vest? In a nutshell, it is the world's greatest harness for dogs. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're looking to build muscle, combat obesity, address anxiety issues, high energy, you want to suppress that energy level. If you just want to take the average walk and turning into a health improving workout, we made it so convenient to exercise your dog that you literally only need about 30 seconds a day. It doesn't matter if you're doing basic obedience training or compete at high level dog sports or in protection sports. The X-Dog Weight and Fitness Vest can enhance it and take any type of daily lifestyle to the next level. If you want to be part of our mission of eliminating canine obesity or just being a part of our team, make sure you go to teamxdog.com. As always, man, I want to thank you for your time and your support, and Team X-Dog strong.
Helping others experience an abundant life with the gift, art, and blessing that is Animal Chiropractic is our sole mission at All Creatures Every Spine. It's what we do. It's what we love. It truly is what keeps us motivated to help people just like you. I truly love the art of chiropractic. It drives me to provide the highest level of chiropractic possible. And as fellow chiropractic business owners, it's that love that drives us to become better. However, the reality is that sometimes running a successful business can be challenging. Sometimes there can be obstacles to overcome. We all know the old saying, if it were easy, everyone would do it. Well, one thing that is really easy is marketing our clinic with a professional animal chiropractic website by the Chiro Website Pro, Tony Seymour. He's a professional web designer, and his team at Chiro Website Pro take good care of us. They simply make marketing our practice 100% hassle-free. If you're looking for the #1 hands-free way to market your practice, give the Chiro Website Pro a call at 423-779-4630 or simply visit www.chirowebsitepro.com and make sure you ask them about the special ACES discount and let them know Dr. Amy and Dr. O sent you. You'll be glad.
Join us as Dr. O interviews a certified chiropractor. veterinarian, or an animal owner. These enthusiastic people explain how they utilize animal chiropractic to alter the lives of the animals in their communities.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Animal Chiropractic Clinic Chatter. We are in the top 20 of 250 chiropractic podcasts. So tell everybody about us. Let's get Animal Chiropractic in the top 10 most listened to chiropractic podcast in the U.S. Today, our guest is Dr. Molly Peters. Hi, ma'am.
Hi, how are you?
Doing all right.
Okay, good.
We are going to talk today about overcoming fears. How's that sound?
Sounds great. My favorite.
Right. Yes. All right. And how when we overcome our fears, amazing things happen.
Yes, they do.
All
Big
right.
things happen.
All right. But first, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm Dr. Molly Hamilton Peters. I went to chiropractic school with the intention of being an animal chiropractor. After doing that, I did Dr. Amy and Dr. O's ACEs program while I was in my last year of school. And then I went down and took a food animal adjusting course through them. And then I hit the ground running. I started my own practice. I got my license 2 days after I graduated, and I started like the next week. And like the rest has kind of been history. So my first year in practice, I was in my human office 4 days a week, and I was just kind of filling in the animals on the nights and weekends, and that rapidly changed. By about 9 months in, I was only doing like 2.5 days in my office, and now I'm little over 4 years in practice now, and I am down to every other Monday in my human office for like 4 hours. And so I'm trying to think, my 2021, I had huge growth, most of it on my animal side. From 21 to 22, I doubled my business income between those 2 years. And then the next year, I was up by about 250%. And now I am, like, this is super exciting. I am 80% booked for the next year. And likely in the next 3 weeks, I will be 100% booked, and I work 3 days a week. So we're doing awesome, and we're grossing about $500K in my practice. So live the life you want, right? Like,
That's right. As a solo doctor.
yes. Yep.
And you pretty much now you still could, like, if my dog was paralyzed, I could still get in to see you.
Yes. Yep. I do haul in days. If you want to be on my travel schedule, you are on a yearly program with me. Or like what I do is those dates, or like the people that I travel for are on that set schedule. If they've got, the neighbor down the street that's got a paralyzed dog or something, they meet me at one of those places. So I'm 100% booked on my travel schedule, maybe I should say.
Okay.
But I had to really, with growth. Go ahead.
We'll get there in a minute. Yeah,
So many
understand.
things.
Because you had to overcome a huge fear to get to where that is. So let's first off, tell us your biggest win with Animal Chiropractic, as far as a specific case.
My baby cows. So I had a kind of I had a lot of success in the cattle, pig, goat, sheep world, but last January, I had a current client of mine that like I work on his show heifers regular basis, and he calls me and he goes, I got this baby calf, like I think he dislocated his shoulder, and this is on Tuesday, and he's got the vet coming out on Friday to take x-rays, all the things. I've never worked with this vet before, and so I kind of like, I don't tell people to not go to their vet, just that's kind of my my thing. And he's talking and I'm like, this just doesn't, something's not right. Something doesn't sound like an actual dislocated shoulder. So I'm like, send me your pictures and a couple of videos of what's going on. And he sends me it. I'm like, no, this calf just has a brachial plexus injury from birthing, because those show calves are so boxy when they're born. But the when he sent me those, this calf had a brachial plexus injury. I called him. I'm like, I'll be out there in 2 hours. So we adjusted this calf, and this calf could maybe take like a 3-inch step, and his nose was maybe 3 inches from the ground. Like he couldn't raise his head up hardly at all. We adjusted him, and he laid down and took this huge nap. And I'm like, he's either gonna live or he's gonna die, is kind of where this is at. And bottom line, it's either gonna help or it's not. So he calls me back like 2 days later. He goes, I canceled the vet appointment. I'm like, you did what? And he's like, no, he looks way different. He's like, you'll just have to see him next Tuesday. Like, wouldn't send me any pictures of this calf. And I'm like, I'm about ready to drive out there and see what's going on. And I get there, and this calf is up, running around, like tail in the air, playing like a baby calf should be. So that was like, it reaffirmed everything that I knew I could do. And also he sent the pictures to the veterinarian and the video of this calf running around, because when he told the vet that he was going to have a chiropractor come out, the vet's like, it probably won't work, but okay. Like everybody's heard it. But yeah, and so we adjusted this calf again, and I believe he sold for almost $50,000.
Wow, $50,000. So
yeah,
here's the thing: we can put a little history and a little monetary value into why that vet was so hesitant to see a chiropractor.
Yep.
There was this guy by the name of Morris Fishbein. All right. And a lot of chiropractors kind of know about him a little bit, because he was involved in a quackery suit. He lost, chiropractors won back in the 60s. But before that, he was the editor of the Journal of the American Medical Association. And they needed money to print their magazine. So he came up with the AMA approved drug. Okay. Sounds important. I mean, that sounds like a big deal, right? And like, if it's an AMA approved drug,
must be legit.
Must be legit. All you had to do was put all your ingredients on the label. So if you had like a proprietary blend of herbs, nope, that's not right. It has to be. But if you've got a synthetic, patented petrochemical derivative that nobody else can make, you don't have any problem putting it on the label, right?
Exactly.
All right. And then you had to advertise wherever he told you to. And now you have an AMA approved drug. You could get an AMA approved food too. Now, you had to be able to put the ingredients on the label.
Yep.
How do you label an apple?
It's just an apple.
So you can't put a label on it, can you?
Nope. Not at all.
A head of lettuce.
Yeah. Yep.
So this is the guy though that started the quackery business with chiropractic in the medical society, because people ask me all the time, how come so many vets are anti-chiropractic? How come they're that? Well, you were talking about what that calf sold for.
Hmm.
The biggest advertiser in the AMA prior to 1949 were tobacco companies
Yep.
that had AMA approved tobacco products.
Yep.
So,
It's money. It all
yep,
comes back to money.
it's all money. It's all
Yep.
money. So,
But I
but
mean, looking at
chiropractic,
the jobs that I've worked on, I've had, like, sales are still going on right now, but I've, the $50,000 one, the $17,000 one, another one that it's expected to go for 50. And like, I found this out before, or after I talked to you guys last, I had another heifer that sold for 100,000 that I worked on. So let's rack it up.
you want a percentage, right? You want a percentage.
Yes. I'm working off
So-
of commissions now.
So I know we've talked in the past and about how you went. And so when you decided that you were only going to go prepay,
Yep.
credit card on file,
Mhm.
how scary was that?
Oh, it was. It was terrifying because, the biggest mistake I made in my first 3 years of practice was I was too flexible for people. Like, I would bend over backwards for people that wouldn't, give me the same back. But I also, I had to look at, I want to be doing this for the next 10, 15, 20 years. And if I keep going and working at it the way I'm working at it, I'm going to burn out. Like, I am one of those people, like, I go 900 miles an hour all the time. Not necessarily good. But when I did that though, and my consciousness and the strategy kind of lined up, like, I have had so many people show up and they're like, yep, sounds great. Where do I send the check? And it just, like I told you, I have people writing me $10,000, $15,000 checks, and it's no big deal for them. And it was, and I had to make this standard of, this is what I tolerate in my practice. This is what I want. This is what works for my life. And if you fit into that, great. And I honestly, even the people that I thought would say no haven't said no. Because you've built such a rapport with them. And I asked them, I'm like, why, how did I word it? Because why do you pick me as your chiropractor? Why am I that person? They're like, because you're authentic. Like, you're not going to feed us full of, I need to see you 6 times a week for something that's general maintenance. Like, we do have chiropractors like that out there that are maybe a little over the top, but they're like, I know if you're telling me something, like, I truly need it. And so that's where having that balance of, like, your consciousness, like, knowing that I'm worth it to these people and having the strategy to back that up to maintain it long term, that's when the magic happens.
Yeah. And you empower your clients with some show me chiropractic.
Yep. Like, I teach my clients through cases. Like, I'm not a huge, like, let me sit down and educate you. But when I'm working on them, I'm telling them about that baby calf that, was probably going to have to be euthanized, or, and then they start thinking, they're like, well, why did that work? And they start asking questions, and it opens the door. And then I get well, I've got a calf like that out in the barn. Can you take a look at that one? This is how, like, and here's the most mind-blowing thing of my entire practice. I do a Facebook post once a week. My marketing sucks. Like, I don't market, but I market myself to those people that I know have influence, that have used me.
Mm-hmm.
Like my cattle people. Like, who are the people that are selling calves Like
Yep.
if I know I get their approval, all of those people they sell calves to, they're going to come to me because like cattle world, I mean, there's highs and lows of every species, right? But like
Right.
I would say cattle people across the board, there's a lot of money that sits in there. Like it's a write off to them, really. But I know if I can get these people to back me up, I'm going to have that following. And then usually they just haul up there, so I don't have to chase them around either.
Well, but let's talk about this a minute. So if we go way back to the beginning, where
Yes.
you said that you went to school to become an animal chiropractor,
Yes.
but your dream wasn't adjusting pigs and
No.
show
I mean,
and show calves.
yeah. I didn't come from a show cat, like a stock show type family.
No,
I was a rodeo girl.
yeah. So your dream was barrel racing horses, roping horses. That's
Yep.
So when you say you came to ACES to learn to be an animal chiropractor and have the practice of your dreams,
Yes.
your dream practice was barrel racing horses.
I was going to the rodeo every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's where I was at.
So that was your dream.
Yes.
And how different is that dream now? Your dream practice now?
It's weird because it's different, but the same. Like I'm still getting to go do those things.
But now you can go to the rodeo and have fun.
Exactly. And that's part of my because I was a vendor, and like once people know you, they know you. And I have a gal that I drive past her house at least once a week and will never schedule an appointment, tries to catch me at the rodeo. So with switching to this, the only people I will see at shows are my yearly clients. And if not, I might charge you $500 for an adjustment and we'll see how long that lasts. And so, but again, that's like, you have to set that standard in your practice of what you're willing to tolerate. And I didn't the first time. And so that's how I got myself into this mess and I'm getting myself out. But sorry, I got off on a tangent there.
Okay. No, it is because now, and that's one thing we try to talk to and make sure our students understand. Like we have a graduate that is board certified in canine sports medicine, adjust dogs. Okay. And the people in her horse barn where she boards her horses don't even know she's a veterinarian.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's her fun.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what I love. Like there is I'm not saying all my horse clients are like this for me coming from a rodeo world, but my cattle people, it's you tell me when you're available. My horse people, it's I get home from work at 5:30 and I got to be to a kid's soccer game by 6:30. And so I'm sorry, but I'm not the chiropractor for you. Like I don't do that. This is when I have available. This is when your appointment is. And so that was part of like the cards on file. Like I told you, I had it was a cattle client actually that was an hour and a half away. And that's, within my travel distance. And I had people lined up after, but there was 15 head of cattle that were canceled about 10 hours before the appointment. And I didn't have a way to charge for a cancellation fee. So there was that issue in there, but I thoroughly enjoy being in the the cattle pig world. but yeah, it's and those people are like, I have some cattle people that they haul calves up from 2.5 hours away and can't get somebody who's 20 minutes away to haul their horse over to me. So again, that's where I kind of shot myself in the foot, but I had probably one of the better pieces of advice. I spend a lot of time in business groups, and I have a group that I'm in, and probably the best piece of advice I ever got from it was you get what you tolerate. You get what you tolerate in your life. You get what you tolerate in your business.
Yep.
What do you want to tolerate? And
Well,
I think,
yeah, I agree. You have to set guidelines, and and you decide what you want to do. How important is, there's a lot of people out there I know that do food animal. I do show steers all the time, and what's the difference between somebody that as knows the anatomy of horses and dogs, and goes out and tries to adjust a show steer versus somebody that's been through food animal?
you know, again, this comes from the business group, but people pay for the results you get other people, right? People, if you actually know what you're doing, you're going to get better results, and people are willing to pay for results. And I had a calf I adjusted 2 to 3 times, sold for $17,000. Like, that is the result that everybody wants. But had I adjusted that horse and adjusted that calf and just went like, oh yeah, the anatomy is probably close to a horse, like I can wing it, I would not have got that result, hands down, or it would have taken 3 times as long. And there's also, going through that, you're dealing with very large animals, and cattle, if they want to kick you, they're just going to kick you. They're not going to give you a warning like horses will. And so I cringe at the longevity of some of our animal chiropractors when I'm seeing them hanging off of a freaking panel trying to adjust a cow where they have no leverage. The angle is wrong. You're screwing up that calf's pelvis. You're probably giving them a freaking strain. And then they're going to go, I didn't work. Like, animal chiropractic is crap. Like, we're digging our own grave by being uneducated about the animals that we're adjusting. Like, we're giving it, that's how people think it doesn't work, because we're not, a calf's pelvis is not the same. A calf's facet joints are not the same as a horse or a dog. It doesn't work like that. And so to have that actual education, or even like, I use a bale with every single one of my cattle, and that has saved me more times than I care to admit. Because I can find out if the calf is going to try and kick. I can, put that between me and the calf. I got a perfect hoof print in my bale right now. And had that not been there, I would have broke my leg. Hands down, would have broke my leg. And so when people say that they don't use an adjusting bale, I'm like, you are never going to get the correct leverage without one. Like, there's no physical way that you can get high enough over a calf to adjust them correctly and not hurt them, right? Like, if you don't know what you're doing, you're better off not adjusting them, because, right, first rule, do no harm. Like, you're doing more harm when you don't know what you're doing. Like, find somebody who's certified, quit asking on Facebook, and just go get the freaking education that you actually need. Like, sorry, I've been on this tangent for a while. Like, I get people that reach out, like, how do I do this? I went and made the investment in my career to learn how to do this. I'm actually licensing my intellectual property. I'm not just going to sit here and text you about it. I apologize. But, like, why should I pay for it? And then you just ask me how to do it and just wing it, Yep. Because even pigs, like I worked in production hog research, so I've been around hogs a lot, but they should take you 5 seconds to adjust, really. If you understand how they move and you can watch them, like, you don't need marshmallows or this or that. Like, you walk next to them, feel what you need to feel, adjust it, get out. Like, is it moving? No. Okay, should it? Yes. Like, we make it too hard on ourselves. I'm gonna be completely honest. But that's also comes with knowledge. You can be more efficient in what you do. Like, I mean, there's weeks that I've been adjusting 200 to 250 animals, and then I hear about people like, oh, it takes me an hour to do a horse, and I'm like, I can do 20 calves in an hour. Like, we got some serious efficiency problems to talk about. And I get results on every single one. And so, having that education, like, that's what makes you stand out. Like, that's why I don't have marketing. I shouldn't say I don't have marketing, but like, I don't have to spend $2,000 a month in marketing. Like, I let my results speak for themselves because I'm educated and qualified to do what I do. Like, wow. I don't know how else to say it.
Wow. Cool.
You want a little tangent? There you go.
Yeah. So
I've been seeing it a lot in the Facebook world. It gets me a little riled up.
I thought it was just me.
Nope, I'm right there with you. It's all good.
So, yeah, and if you go, I mean, and people are used to being exposed to most people don't spend over 5 minutes with their chiropractor.
No.
They may wait, but they don't spend over 5 minutes. And, when my chiropractor, I love him, but he gets the buffer out, which is, not chiropractic. And I told him that one day. I said, is that chiropractic? Well, no, not really. He said, but most people like it. And I said, well, I don't. He said, okay, we won't do it anymore then. And so we just get adjusted, And when I just go in, lay down, get adjusted, get up and walk out, I feel great. And, I've been in there, probably I should quit saying hold my beer, but my practice is dogs, and we do a lot of bite work dogs.
Yep.
And I have the number 1 dog in the country on my bail. And he's there because he can't bite.
Oh.
So not very good. So we worked on him and adjusted his atlas and adjusted, lower cervicals, and he had a pelvis thing. And I said, we don't adjust jaws very often, but he's got a TMJ issue, and this might hurt. And the handler said, okay, I'm ready. He's got a brand new muzzle on. It's like $150 muzzle. Don't buy one of those. Just telling you all, those don't work. So I adjusted his TMJ and immediately, pushed myself away because it's 100 and some pound, 100, probably 35, 45 pound dog. So I pushed myself away because they can give you a concussion, right? And I turned around, and all of a sudden, I have 135 pound growth on my arm.
Oh.
He broke the muzzle. He can now bite.
Hey, what you know?
Yep. And thank goodness he was the number 1 dog in the country, because when the owner said plots, which means drop, he did.
Yep. I would rather work on those dogs than some of those freaking chihuahuas, though.
That have no manners.
Yep.
So anyway, I'm coming home, and there's a lot of blood. And I thought maybe I should stop by the emergency room, and I thought, nah, I'll just go by the chiropractor's office.
It'll buff.
So, I went in. My chiropractor was a little concerned.
A little bit.
But he adjusted me. I said my wrist hurts a little bit. The bite was up here by my elbow. And got adjusted, and didn't adjust the extremities. Adjusted low net like we do. And got better. So all he did was adjust my spine, and immediately my wrist got better, everything got better. It did take a few days for the bites to heal. I'm not going to say that, and the chiropractor didn't make that heal, but he sure did facilitate that healing.
Yes, 100%.
And then being in an adjusted body that I have, when I fell 15 feet and was pretty sure I broke my leg, couldn't stand on it, went in to see the chiropractor and said, I think I probably need some x-rays. If you can take them or we can, he said, well, let's see. He adjusted my spine. I went in and I could not bear weight on my right leg. Okay. Was pretty sure there was something broken in it. He adjusted my spine, said, okay, let's go take an x-ray of that leg. I stood up and I put all my weight on my right leg. And I said, I don't think we need to do any x-rays. Just getting my spine adjusted was all I needed. Now, I'm fairly certain if I wasn't well adjusted before the accident, something would have broken.
Yep.
We worked on a dog this weekend that was attacked by a mountain lion. It was a well-adjusted dog, though, before it got attacked by the mountain lion. Got attacked in April. They've been using their animal chiropractor had moved, and so they were using some other animal chiropractors, and they said, I think they're okay, but would you check our dogs for us? And so we said yes. So we checked the 2 dogs, and I said, man, I know it's been going on. Do you happen to have the x-rays? And she said, yes. So we looked at the x-ray, and Dr. Amy, about that time, had put her hands on the dog's atlas. Dr. Amy said, let me look. So she said, oh. So she adjusted the atlas, and we had, anyway, yes, it was, so the dog shouldn't be alive.
Yep. Well, I mean, you guys know my stories. Like, I had this horse that got hit by a truck. I got all these baby calves. Like, it just works. And
it does.
And that's what, kind of going back to like when you were talking about like your practice as dogs, and mine's kind of the livestock world. I think that's sometimes where like people's practices get derailed, like these people that like, oh, I got somebody that asked me about show steer. If show steers are not your thing, stay in your lane and just drill down on what you know. Do what you know and do it very well, rather than trying to cast a big net just to make a quick buck.
Yeah.
Because that's, I mean, like, I maybe see 5 dogs a week, and I do well with them, but they're just not my intuition, is so much sharper with cattle, pigs, and that kind of thing. But, like you guys, if you got agility dogs and like that's your deal, go after that 100%. Because your success will lie in what you feel the most confident in too.
Correct.
And so, it's the same thing. Like if you don't have that, like, I can see where it'd be difficult to break into kind of the animal world if you didn't have some connection there. But like, I also don't think you want to be an animal chiropractor unless there's, my dog or my cat or something like that. You usually have some story of how you got into it. And so I think sometimes we try to cast too wide of a net and try to step too far outside of our lane, but that's even chiropractors. What do? We diagnose subluxations. That's it. Leave the rest to the vets. Like, don't, and I don't get worked up about diagnoses and everything in my practice, but I also let the vets do what they do, and I don't, some people get so worked up about, oh my God, this vet doesn't like me. Cool. Just do what you do and let your results speak for themselves. Cause like that vet that's like, oh, it probably won't work. I have never met the guy, and he's sent me at least 50 calves. like he's like, oh yeah, I don't know, just call Dr. Molly. Never met the guy. And I've had 3 other veterinarians, and they're older veterinarians, so they were probably around or like starting practice towards the end of some of that like Wilkes lawsuit type stuff. So they were, very anti-chiropractic. And I've been invited in to work on some cases with them now. And they were, that is witchcraft. It doesn't work, blah, blah, blah. and I get invited in, and I just go do what I do, and they're going to give me all the diagnosis every, we flush this tendon and da-da-da. Okay, that's cool. I just do what I do, and somehow it magically heals faster. And so, but, sometimes instead of trying to buck everybody and go, hit that wall every single time, just do what you do. Just be who you are and go, just, again, let your results speak for themselves. Like, that's the easiest way to get into some of those vet clinics and stuff. Because what I did also, I get some people that, oh my God, my vet doesn't know if it'll work, blah, blah, blah. And like, I have a dog that had idiopathic seizures. And she called me on the phone. I kind of had this like little giggle. I'm like, this is going to be fun. And so she came in, got her adjusted. The dog was this is like one of my few dogs that I that I see. But this dog was going from having 1 to 2 seizures a week to he's had 4, I think, in the last 5 months. And so she's like, oh my God, he's doing great. I'm like, well, why don't you, just go tell your vet, just fill him in on whatever's going on and blah, blah, blah. He's doing great. This gal sends me dogs now, or like, her cattle or whatever. But, to some degree, when it comes from me, it's wrong because it's my business. I'm looking to make money. I'm looking to profit off of it. But if it comes from my client, it's coming from a place of like, this is what happened. This is, like this helped my dog. And that's what vets want. They want to help animals, bottom line, but until they see it happen in front of them, they won't believe it. Like, and I don't mean that in a bad way. They're just not trained to think of that as a treatment, we'll say.
Well, and it's all because, that they hear the media, when something does go wrong at the chiropractor's office, the media plays it up, whereas when something goes good at the chiropractor's office, which is every day, I was looking at some stuff the other day, and I found the odds of getting hurt at the chiropractor's office if you have a dissecting aneurysm in your neck, which is the #1 cause of death. But the first sign of that is a sore neck.
Yep, sore neck, arm pain.
Right. So if you go to the chiropractor with that, your risk of death is one in a million.
Yep.
Okay. If you go to the medical doctor with that same symptom, your chances of death are 1 in a million.
Yep.
Exactly.
Well, and that's, you get into some of that, and like there's a statistics on the CDC website that 1.3 million people per year die from properly prescribed medications. And so like you start playing the cost versus benefit game, and that's, some people with their drug list, I'm like, here's your interactions. You need to go ask your doc about this. And so yeah.
All right.
But
we're our time has come to an end. I'm always
we can
excited.
talk all day.
I know. Maybe we'll do this again.
Another one.
Maybe we'll do this again. Couple things. People can see you at an exciting place in November, correct?
Yes. National Cafe.
Yeah, you're going to be at a booth with us at the National FFA convention. So be cool. So people can come see you there. And then
talk to me about food animal.
Yes, talk about food animal. And we're going to have food animal the end of October. And I don't remember how many animals we did the weekend you were here, but
we did 175. I remember that.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure we did 175 or something. So it was crazy.
We have 400. We have 400 lined up for this year's food animal course.
I love it.
So
If you need a TA, let me know.
just getting thrown into it.
Yes. Well, that was
help.
the best part. Was you're just grabbing goats left and right, and
All right.
it was good time.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. Remember, the body heals one way and one way only, above, down, inside out. Keep your nervous system in alignment, and amazing things happen. Thank you, Dr. Molly.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
All right.
If you are or know a veterinarian or chiropractor, or a student of either of these professions, visit our website, Animal Chiropractic Education Source, to see how to become certified in animal chiropractic. Start improving the lives of the animals around you. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to the ACES channels so that you never miss an exciting episode.